Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omni Sports.
T's and C's apply.
Bafana survive in South Sudan. England get the result they wanted against Finland. Germany and the Netherlands was an absolute cracker. And then in the big one, if you're a Premier League fan, Martin Odegaard is out of the North London derby. We will talk about that in a little bit. Let's start off with Bafana. So I was on a flight yesterday. Obviously, they are playing it at the worst time. I don't know who are these Muppets?
CAF.
Yeah, CAF, right?
Yeah.
And also, Mr. Motsepe, you are now in charge. At least give your home country.
Yeah.
Like, we are, like, people, so quick insight. A lot of people in Africa have a thing about South Africans because they say we're quite bougie, right? I'm like, okay, fine, but it's still the best country to live in Africa, whether you like it or not. And you know how I know that? More people are coming here than leaving. Yeah. So, get over yourself. This is still the best country to live in. So we shouldn't be afraid of that as South Africans, to like wear that. We are in, according to the economics and everything, the USA of Africa, whether people like it or not. And if you don't like it, well, whatever. The economics speak differently, right? Here's my thing. Mr. Motsepe, you're in charge now. Just get the TV people, dictate to them that the biggest economy is South Africa, and play our games at a reasonable hour. How are you playing at 3 o'clock? Like, television and money determines this, doesn't it? Or is that not how it works here in Africa?
Well, it seems that a lot of those games were played at 3 o'clock yesterday. A lot of the AFCON qualifiers. Rwanda played at 3 o'clock. And then the games later were about 7, 9 o'clock. So I don't know if they were just trying to get them over and done with early on. But yeah, a lot of games were at 3 p.m., which was absolutely... I think Egypt were also at 3 p.m. in Botswana.
It's a bloody Tuesday afternoon. People have to work. It's not like the Christmas period or Ramadan or whatever. It's people are at work. But anyway, Bafana survive 3-2 there against South Sudan. So I'm on a flight. I get on the Gautrain at about 80 minutes. I think I texted in our group chat. I'm like, listen, we're going to have to get projects on here if Bafana blow this. As I say that, Kev, I see a message from you. It's the 90th minute. By this time, I'm on the train. I've left the airport. I can't believe it. We won 3-2. Because after 90 minutes as well, I think is when I got back onto the train. And then we've won 3-2. I'm like, what is going on here?
As I saw a tweet from a football writer in Jabula Ngidi who said... Mrs. Mbaba named her son well, Talente.
He really is. He really, really is. I mean, to go and get that, bloody hell, get a heart attack. Listen, yeah. I'm on, and I'm usually I'm earphones in guy. I don't really like to bother people around me. I gave like a yes as soon as that went in on the train. People turning around, looking at me like
it was an up and down game. To be blunt, it was a roller coaster. And defense terrible. The first penalty was a shocker. I mean, it was just, you didn't need to do it. Just shepherd him to the line. The equalizer was brilliant. They should have had a penalty, quite obvious penalty. I mean, it struck the guy on the arm, away from his body, on the line. And then up at Apollos, and he just lifted his game. I see that his move to an Algerian team has broken down. And Mozole Malefe from SABC is reporting that he may be on his way to Kaizer Chiefs.
Oh, no, don't do it.
I'm afraid so. Kaizer Chiefs are in the market for a player, so they're in the market for anybody, actually.
Oh, no, Apollos, don't do it. That's the end of your career. That club is dead now. You got to go to Sundowns or Pirates at the moment. That's the place to be, or Stellenbosch. All right, but they win 3-2 if you're a South African. I hope your heart is doing fine this morning. It is all good. 4 points after 3 games now to take on the Congo in October. I think 7th of October will be that next fixture. Congrats to Hugo Broos and the boys. They'll fly home probably tonight. All right, England beat Finland 2-0 in Harry Kane's 100th game for his country. Kane scored both goals, and his teammates spoke about what the striker means to the team. Here's Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper for England, talking about Harry Kane.
My debut he was playing, and them games are special for him, for his family, and something he should be proud of, which he will be. And you're in the tunnel there, and his kids are there, and his wife's there, and it's a special moment for him, and a privilege to be a part of that night as well.
Firstly, Jordan Pickford, terrible goalkeeper. Don't know how he's got so many caps for England. He's a mistake machine. But let's move past that. Harry Kane, 100 games, 68 goals now. You'll have to hear it. Seems like a good dude.
Yeah, and Pickford is an Oompa Loompa. I mean, he's a little, I think he's grumpy dwarf. He's too small to be a
Way too small to be a keeper.
But yeah, Kane does seem like a good guy. Ashley Cole gave him the golden cap before the game. He's also Centurion. Lampard was there. They celebrated this guy, and Kane seems to be driven by proving his doubters wrong. That seems to be a big thing for him because everyone keeps saying, is he world class? Does he have a legacy? And what he showed on his 100th game against Finland with 2 absolute cracker strikes. I mean, they were great goals.
And it's not just the guys that are senior that love him. Man City wonder kid Rico Lewis also spoke about Kane's personality and his approach to the younger players.
99 of those games I was watching, from TV, and just to be on the pitch with him for one of them games is quite amazing. And credit to him and everyone around him. He's such a good person. It's so easy for him to be so big time and not even take care of the younger ones coming up and stuff like that. But he's so nice. He's so inclusive, and he fully deserves it.
On Monday, we were talking to Brad Jakes about Hugo Broos and our inability as South Africans to fully embrace him. And I don't know if you remember, Brad Jakes said, he's just not a likable guy. Even Brad Jakes admitted, I don't, he's unlikable. The one thing that's very difficult to do in life is to lie to sportsmen. The sportsman will lie to the media, you can put on the show, but once you get into the dressing room, the guys figure you out. These are the most competitive human beings in the world, and men and women, right? You get into that sort of sanctum, is guys figure you out. You can't be a liar there. Harry Kane seems to appeal to all of his compatriots. I've never heard a guy coming out and saying, Harry Kane is this, Harry Kane is that. He's not a divisive person, and he's bloody good. But there's something that's never endeared him to the people. And I wonder if it's because he's almost too polished. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he doesn't have edges. That's what you're looking at. So, but he doesn't say the wrong thing. He doesn't do the wrong thing. You don't catch him at nightclubs. You don't get him slagging people off. He's pretty honest. And he doesn't have skeletons in the closet. He doesn't have that sort of darker side. And perhaps that's what people are expecting. Like Ronaldo, the sulks.
Yeah.
Yeah, retire already, Ronaldo. I think I've only said it twice this week.
Yeah.
So the players that...
Well, I'll give you an
example.
I'll give you an example. So Jack Grealish, who is out living like a bloody Neanderthal out here, drinking a storm up, but he is beloved by the people. He's getting the Gucci contracts, and Harry doesn't get that sort of adoration from his peers. And let me tell you something. I play professional football. It matters. It matters to players that the fans love them. Don't let players tell you anything. They love it when the fans love them. And even at Tottenham, Harry Kane, he's their best player. I mean, you could go Ginola, Gascoigne, but he'll certainly be in their top 5 greatest players. Ozzy Ardiles for the old people like you, Kev. but there are these great players, right? But he'll be top 5 Tottenham. But he was never quite embraced by all of them, even within Tottenham, when he was banging 30 goals a season in the league, which we haven't seen since Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He still wasn't fully embraced. And I do wonder what it is. I don't get it. It's kind of like him and Gareth Southgate have this problem where there's a block where the people can't feel you, but you're brilliant and you're perfect and you're a family man and you should be like the Prince of England. And then there's that disconnect. Do you think it's like a class thing? Because I think with the money in football, people forget that football's a working class game. In cricket and tennis, you can be this polished thing and it's fine. The Toffingtons will love you. Could it be that? Is he almost above the fray?
Is he like a good boy? That's
Yeah,
what you're trying to say. I think that is, yeah. I don't know if you remember a couple of years, a long time ago, there was a snooker player called Steve Davis.
The great Steve Davis.
So Steve Davis used to mock himself because I think it was Spitting Image, which was a satirical puppet show that was on BBC, or so on Channel 4 in England. They called him Steve Interesting Davis because he was the most boring person afterwards. And he made a mockery of it. It's a bit like James Milner did with his so-called boring joke because he didn't drink. He looks after himself. Yet he was loved. Xabi Alonso, loved. Ricky Villa for Tottenham Hotspur as well. Absolutely loved. So those guys were loved. I do think Harry Kane was loved in his own way, but not like the sort of huggy, we're going to miss you, Harry. £100 million. Cheers, Harry.
Yeah. Listen, he's a corporate dream, though. That's the guy you want. Not only is he brilliant, he's the best player. He's the hardest working player, and then he's clean cut. That's why Bayern Munich, it's a no-brainer. 100 mil, get him in-house, and we don't have to worry about him. He'll keep banging the goals. His manager, Lee Carsley, also spoke about his 67th and 68th 60th goal last night, because Harry says, I want to get 100 goals. Here's what Carsley had to say.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I think it's he's still getting into really effective positions. I think we've got a responsibility as well to keep giving him the assists, and I think he's like I say, he's took them 2 goals really well tonight. Maybe could have got 3 or 4.
He's in fine shape. He's scoring goals, 67 and 68 goals last night. Harry Kane scored. Congratulations to him and his family. 100 caps up for the skipper. Let's move to the other side of things in England. It is the Premier League. It is Martin Odegaard. He's injured. Absolute disaster if you're an Arsenal fan. North London derby, he'll miss that on the weekend. Norway played Austria, and the Arsenal skipper came off, and he couldn't even walk off the field. It did not look good. We have to ask at this stage. Odegaard is reported to be earning about £150,000 a week at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Is why are we playing these international games? Like, why is this happening? I read a really interesting article from Rodri recently, talking quite poetically about international football. It's in The Athletic. But I don't get it. I don't get how clubs are going to spend, these guys, he's on £150,000 a week. If Arsenal are spending that, could you imagine what the team, Edu, and those guys, and Stan Kroenke must be thinking? It's like, our captain is now injured because they're playing some meaningless game against Austria in the middle of the frozen tundra.
Shame. He was absolutely in tears when he walked off. It was heartbreaking to see, because he knows he'll be out for a good while, perhaps 2 months, I think.
They don't know yet. Scans, but they said it could be a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's there was much gnashing and wailing of teeth and tears in Arsenal after that. The horrible truth is that players sometimes get injured. It does happen, and it's just their timing. But then, are they also do they get injured because they're playing to a different system? Do they get injured because they're trying to fit into a different way, or are they trying harder for their country? Not that they wouldn't try harder for their club, but Are they trying a little bit harder? Are they trying to show that the countrymen that they're a star?
And what sucks about this is this costs players money. For me, I want players to get paid. Get yourself paid. If it is a big injury, I don't mind if you get injured at your club.
Yeah.
When you get injured at bloody Norway, what happens if this costs him a second contract? Because he's still young. Martin Odegaard's like, 24?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about some old guy. He'll want 3 or 4 more contracts. If this is a big injury, I hope it's not, because another thing is he's a brilliant player. Whether you like Arsenal or not, he's an outstanding player. So it's bad for the Premier League, bad for me as a football fan. And if you know me, I cannot stand international football. I think they should just do bingo cards to qualify. Like, at this stage, I'm just like, stop playing this international stuff. Let's move on. If you're an Arsenal fan, though, 0788777716. Your thoughts on Odegaard being injured this season? This weekend for the North London derby. Does that eliminate any chance of the Gunners winning this weekend? Remember, you can win your share of 50,000 rands worth of cash and airtime prizes by listening out for our show's special keyword. Collect that keyword and then listen next hour to Prajakes and then to Onakosi, and then WhatsApp your keyword to 0788777716. That's 0788777716. Collect all the keywords and then enter the Omnisport cash competition. Coming up in 60 seconds, we're going to go through the box squad, because the Springboks have announced their squad to Argentina. 7 rested, but some squad still that he's taking over. Win one more and you win it all. 60 seconds, Springboks in Argentina.
Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omnisport.
T's and C's apply.